Working with the actors in this movie, it's the coolest thing I've ever done. But what we couldn't do is we couldn't speak directly to each other.
He would get tired out, so when he gets tired, just stop and like, you know, look around at where he is.
Even with a translator, you're directing an actor and you stop and you say something and then you have to wait. It's like, it's like directing in 56K internet or something, because there's this wait period where actors looking at me and them and like, oh, okay. You're just forced right away to have to be as simple and clear with your communication as possible. I think someone counted at one point that there could be up to like 8 languages.
So we had Americans, Brits, Kenyans.
The actors are speaking Somali, some of the crew is speaking Swahili.
French actors who spoke French.
There was a Spanish set designer. So it's a very, very mixing pot. Crew, creatively, it could have been better. From a logistical standpoint, it couldn't have been worse.
Just everybody, just no talking.
It's like one at a time.
And there's just so many factors as to why things are taking longer. It's a function of having non-actors, which is really important in the movie to have non-actors. It's a function of not having the same language as these non-actors. And it's like multiple language going around. And all of these things add up.
This way?
Yeah.
Communication becomes an issue. So many people on the set and 3 languages, so you need translations all the time, and you have like 15 or 20 or 30 people on very small sets. And we're shooting at sea, which is always very difficult.
The sea is a vicious place. At any given moment, danger is just around the corner, because you're on a boat and you could flip off that boat like a boat could toss you at any point.
The location we shot on was the mothership. It's very worse for wear wooden junker. It's basically like a pile of junk that floats. It was definitely the hardest location I've ever shot, I think. I mean, it was a beast, and it had its own name, which we called the motherfucker, because it was a motherfucker.
Have you ever shot on a boat before?
Yeah, a little bit. But not a boat like this.
Someone else.
How are you feeling about the day?
Nervous. Today's like I feel like least figured out day. So.
We're putting stuff in one boat just to move it 10 feet to another boat.
Just transporting our gear from one place to the other was difficult. There definitely were a lot of moments where we're kind of holding our breath as we're trying to pass the camera along. You know, and we're in the middle of the ocean. If the thing drops in, it's not even just wet, it's gone.
This set, which was pretty much the most difficult thing to shoot on, we didn't have easy access for it to come in and out, whether that be for lunch, for personnel, you know, someone getting sick. So we had to essentially create a relay of speedboats, right? So the mothership would have to sail 5 miles out to be filming in the open water. So then we'd have 4 speedboats, one that was attached to the mothership, one that was halfway back on the other side of the reef, one that was halfway back just on the inside of the reef, and then one at shore. We also had to relay between these boats because we needed to have walkies on each one that could actually communicate with the mothership.
John, do you see who I'm pointing at?
So you'd have to radio the first boat, who then could hear you, and they could get to the second boat, who then could get to the third. And so you'd have this crazy game of telephone, essentially.
God fucking damn it.
We were in shark-infested water, number 1, so you can't fall off. We were in small boats where just the number of people we could even put in a boat at once was hard. And then seasickness. It's a lot of barfing. There's a lot of barfing.
I think that week I think it broke a lot of people's spirits. It's just really hard being on this little boat baking in the sun all day.
I'm breaking out into hives again. I've had a skin disease, actually, Ethel, for 4 days, but I felt like it was getting better. But the skin disease which is in part sun poisoning, in part hallucinogenics, and now part salt water of whatever ocean this is. So I'm covering back up.
Every day on this boat is a crazy day.
John, this is completely drenched and not working, man. Look at this. I mean, guys, we can't put our equipment like this, man.
And we ended up ruining a lot of our equipment. The water was too rough. We kind of just took a risk that we shouldn't have taken. And obviously our gear couldn't hold up to that. And luckily, all the people on board could, which was good.
Been supporting the mothership today with whatever they need. Working on the boat has always been hard. The tide keeps moving the boat side to side. It makes the set be like a threat to people. It's dangerous. That's why yesterday we could not shoot the life jackets. But I think they're in the last scene and it's moving on well.
We didn't really know what we were doing or getting into. I don't think they had any idea what we were about to do. But so we'll start back in the morning on it. But we got some stuff. We got some material that was good. So we shall soldier on. Right, Dizzy? Boom.
Yeah. The water was rough. Everybody was about to throw up.
Started vomiting and shit because it was my first time to go too deep. Yeah. Anyways, cool. Everything is all right.
Mothership. It was kind of a catalyst for us to start really buckling down on safety on the water.
Water safety is a huge deal, and it's something that in the short we never ever once considered. In a way, the short was made by a couple of cowboys, and the feature is made by a lot of people.
What is the water?
This is crazy.
Our mentality towards safety had to take a switch so we could protect everyone around us.
The east wind, I mean, that to me is what the feature was all about. The short was all about the pirates as they prepped to go attack a ship. This one is about getting the ship. This boat is a pure working boat. You know, there are no frills attached, no air conditioning on board. You have so many new variables, and that doesn't even include the fact that a lot of our cast couldn't swim. And we had to hire stunt coordinators to come in just to monitor these guys so that they wouldn't drown if they fell in.
Everybody is together at the back of the ship. If the captain calls for an abandoned ship, you're going to go up the steps to where the life rafts and the lifeboats are. And you're going to go together, and you're going to go very slowly and orderly, nobody panics. There's a lot of life-saving equipment on here. Basically, abandoned ship means you don't stop, you don't pass go, you do not collect 200, you go straight to the life-saving equipment.
What you have here is a 3,000-ton death trap, basically, that unless handled very, very correctly is quite dangerous to men and materials. And it's a lesson that we've just been learning as we go.
Every single piece of logistics becomes exponentially harder when water is involved.
The thing is, we can do this now. This is the only thing we need to get in facing away from it. We can get everything else facing away.
John, please be aware of what we have to do to get back at 4 p.m.
That's what I'm explaining.
We have a very limited way we can fucking look when the scene takes place in the middle of the ocean. We can't do it if the shore is there.
When you're working on a ship, you also have to factor in nature. Lots of people got sick. We've had a nurse on set every day who's been awfully busy. Nobody knows quite what's going on with Cutter. He's sick. He's sick. They thought he had malaria. He came in, went to the hospital, tested for malaria, doesn't have malaria. Got something else. He might have. These guys chew so much cut that it comes basically straight out of the ground and they don't particularly wash it, that he could have something like I think he might have hepatitis.
But he's in the scene today.
He was supposed to be. He was supposed to be getting killed today. Now he's just busy doing that all on his own.
And feeling koowaad waa feeling isku qasan waaye meeshii A laga rabo B la keenay meeshii C laga rabo D la keenay meeshii K laga rabo F la geeyay waaye maanta waxaa joogo wiil Soomaali noo tafsiiro luqadda af Soomaaliga oo tacliintiisa ay tahay inuu English iyo af Somali uu nagu fasiro markii Englishka loogu sheego isagana af Soomaaliga lagu fasira.
My official role was cultural liaison / translator. Some moments were great and some moments were just not so great. And if I had to do it all over again, I'll think twice.
Sadly, like the first shoot for me felt like constantly dealing with angry crew. Like I literally was just like, and it's funny because in hindsight I'm like, man, I get it. Like it was awful.
We can't be chasing little boats around in this thing.
But it was a big mistake that they didn't bring the prop on the boat in the morning. What do you want me to do? I'm trying to make up for it, and then I'm waiting for them for 30 minutes, and they're ready to take a shot, and I'm not going to prevent them shooting.
We just made mistake after mistake after mistake, and every mistake pushed us more over budget, and it pushed us more behind schedule.
We left that shoot knowing that we didn't have the entire movie in the can, and that we were gonna need to come back and shoot more. We thought the best approach to this was to come back and edit for as long as we possibly could and figure out what we did have and what worked, but also to elaborate on what we thought we were missing. So editing for a while, it would show us scenes that we hadn't even thought of yet that would fit great into this. Our partners at Vice and Think were completely behind us to go back and do more of the shooting. They could see the holes, and particularly Eddie at Vice was incredibly encouraging. We're being empowered by him, so let's turn around and let's do that with everybody else that we're working with.
By August, we had really figured it out. We had recontracted our crew in Kenya. We had gotten our actors back. We had gotten our locations back. And before I knew it, we were going back to Kenya.
I think the instructions were, Cutter, go back and don't come back until the movie's done.